Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central doing a movie review for you. This is a big one. It's Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, which as it turns out is kind of a disappointment. Aww. I'm actually a little bit upset about it myself. Longtime Star Wars fan. If you know anything about this channel, you know that I do everything Star Wars all the time, maybe a little bit too much. And unlike many Star Wars fans, I was not disappointed with The Last Jedi. I really like The Last Jedi. I still really like The Last Jedi. In fact, if I had to say so, The Last Jedi is a better movie than The Rise of Skywalker. I love The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens is a better movie than The Rise of Skywalker. Time will tell if The Rise of Skywalker is the worst of the main entry Star Wars movies. Maybe not. Like, back when the prequels came out, pretty much everybody agreed they were terrible, and then, lo and behold, all these years later, a lot of people feel differently. I feel differently about the prequels. I actually really kind of have become a fan of the prequels in light of the entire saga. But this one strikes some weird notes. Number one, it moves a little too fast in places, which tells me that the script is trying to do too much. Too much ground to cover. And that's kind of on J.J. Abrams. Nowhere in the telling of this new trilogy was it stipulated that he had to tie up loose ends, quote unquote, loose ends from the clone trilogy. Yeah, the prequels from the original saga. Nowhere was that stipulated, but he chose to do it anyway. He chose to include Emperor Palpatine. And by the way, there's no spoiler that Emperor Palpatine is the thing that this whole thing revolves around, because he's like right in the opening crawl. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing the Palpatine thing again. Let's do that. Just out of the blue, no context from the other two movies. And I don't think JJ had to do that. I don't think that that was necessarily a required aspect of making these movies. I feel like if he had just tried to sum up The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, then we would have had a better experience here. Not to say there isn't plenty of really fun moments, because there are. It's still a really charming cast. The script is still charming when it needs to be. There's a lot of great moments. There's a lot of fan service moments. In fact, it's mostly fan service. So if you're not a fan, it's probably not going to be the most enjoyable film experience you've ever had. And there's a lot of fan service moments that fall flat, that just weren't needed. Nobody asked for something like that, a moment like that, a theme like this. And to me, it just feels like maybe there's some validity to this concept that these new movies were just yet another Disney cash grab. Although I have to say, over on the other side of the universe currently, we have The Mandalorian, and I really like The Mandalorian as a show. So it's not like all Star Wars right now is clumsy. But I think The Rise of Skywalker is. One of the things that is really nice about it is the continuation and wrap up of Ben and Rey's relationship, their story. It ties up in a way that is both powerful and kind of romantic and lovely in a way, like really kind of beautiful. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that Oscar Isaac and John Boyega get more to do in this one. A little unhappy that they sidelined some of the other new characters, but for the majority of this movie, it really is about Poe and Rey and Finn and Chewie, which is nice, because it's like, Star Wars was always best when the main people were doing the thing. Doing the thing to stop the thing, doing the thing to save the people, whatever it was. That was always when Star Wars was at its best. So I appreciate that as well. But all in all, it's clumsy. Some of it's unnecessary. I don't think it was necessary to try to tie up Palpatine. We already had a tie-up for Palpatine. Palpatine died. There was no need for that, really. The only need was to try to explain Snoke's existence and try to try to have a thing where Palpatine was manipulating the thing the whole time. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. And there's like some twists that completely erase what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi. And again, I like The Last Jedi. So if you hated The Last Jedi, you might be in luck because some of that stuff got wiped out. I feel like JJ kind of caved to fan criticism, which is fair enough, but he didn't really do that with The Force Awakens. So The Force Awakens was a fun experience. It was a great return to form for the franchise. I felt like The Last Jedi was a good second part. Maybe not as fun. But The Rise of Skywalker, man, it's a bit of a letdown. It's a bit of a disappointment. So, I think that's all I gotta say about it. I mean, there's way, 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 way more that I could say about it. Like, it's a slight spoiler here, but why does Rey have to travel back to Luke's island planet just to see his Force ghost? Like, that was ground that didn't need to be covered. What, Master Skywalker's at a frequent flyer miles? Anyways, so JBC, that's short for Jeff Bull Central, gives Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker a 7 out of 10. I probably would give it normally a 6 out of 10, but lightsabers and junk. I do love a good fight. Like and subscribe to Jeff Bull Central if you want to. If you don't, I don't care. Don't linger. Move on. Move along. Move it along. Move it along. That's all I got to say. Until next time, everybody. What could have been with episode 9. I wonder if we could talk to George Lucas and see what he had planned and write a petition. Hey, everybody, that was quick.
Hey, look, book!
God's Body. This is a book that I wrote, and it's really good. It's got illustrations by illustrator of the future winner, Pat R. Steiner.
He's awesome, by the way.
There's such cool pictures.
Awesome.
There's such a cool story here.
Great
it's a
artist.
Novel of the apocalypse. You will love it.
Funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm your wife. I did read it.
Yeah, you didn't read it.
I did.
You read half of it.
Well,
but you
I'm
should
dyslexic,
read it.
Okay, dyslexic.
Oh, well,